it's sad because they have that moment like you had, and yet they can't get through week fucking 2, and they wave their white flag and it's done, and they just said, you know what, I'm a passenger on this ship and this is just what it's gonna be. What would you say to those people?
Like, man, if you're happy being a passenger, I ain't here to fucking argue with you.
Yeah.
The truth is, I don't fucking care if you don't care about your dreams, but if you do, I'm into it. And I think the biggest fucking rule of all is you're not allowed to let someone else care about your dreams more than you. It doesn't work that way. And I damn sure don't care about someone else's more than mine.
You should.
Right? And that's not like I don't get to be an asshole because of that. That doesn't mean I get to get in the way. It means I'm free to pursue my fucking dreams at whatever passion I want, as long as I don't ever pretend it's more valuable than someone else in chasing theirs.
Right.
I can't ever get in the way.
We're back with another episode of the Determined Society podcast. And today, folks, I have a guest here that we discovered we actually knew each other from way back in the day when we were youngsters, roaming around, Baton Rouge, LSU campus as two athletes. He was a track star. I was a baseball star. And we really found out how much we actually have in fucking common. And it was hysterical, buddy, right? I have with me my boy, Matt Vincent. We'll get into his background, but damn, dude, what a doozy.
What a doozy, man. It was really funny catching up. And then as soon as you called me back, right? Like we got introduced and then you called me back and you're like, yeah, we know each other. And I'm like, oh shit, do tell.
Yeah, I know. You're like,
man, totally I've traveled a ton over the last decade. Like there's a fucking good chance, right? And you tell me, and like the first thing you say, especially after we had chatted about, both being at LSU at the same time doing athletics. And you're like, hey, who are you dating in college? And I'm like, oh no.
Did you know at that moment that I was that motherfucker?
I fucking knew exactly who you were at that moment.
Oh my God.
So come to find out, I in college spent a few years dating a girl who, she's very fallacious, I would say.
Very, yes. Very, very accurate description of her. Thank you.
It wasn't a great relationship. I didn't, I should have bailed a little earlier than I did.
Oh man.
But, she would cheat on me. She would get blackout drunk and cheat on me. And then I would have to locate her. And for some reason as a boy, more than once. More than once. This is, our circumstance was unique, but she was a learning experience, let's say. I know a lot of things I won't tolerate again.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that one. It was just so crazy because as I'm getting off the phone with you the first time, I'm like, oh shit, what if he knows? I'm like, I can't wait to talk to this guy again. If I call him back right now, it's like, it's going to be a little weird. So I'll wait until I'm talking to him. And, again, but it was crazy. I started recounting everything. There was a moment, I'm going to tell you, dude, I've never told you this. I don't think I told you that night when you showed up at my doorstep ready to fuck me up, guys. It was the scariest moment of my life.
Just so we're clear, I wasn't going to fight anyone. That's not my MO.
I
get that. But what I needed was I needed to know what the fuck happened. And then I can go ahead, let her lie to me, and then be like, yeah, we're done with this. And I'm pretty sure that's what was the final, we're fucking done here.
Yeah, no, congratulations, Shawn. You were the straw that broke the camel's back. Fantastic. But it was nuts, dude, because there was weeks where I would hear weird shit outside of my window. And bro, I was scared as fuck. I didn't know what it was. I was calling my friends. I was like, bro, what are y'all fucking doing? I can't even sleep in my room. One night I slept with the light on. Well, finally,
how did I figure out where you live?
We're going to get to that because I want to know that because you knew the exact motherfucking apartment. I'm like, I heard this bang and is Shawn French here? I'm like, fuck, what did I do now? But here's the thing. So I keep hearing this shit out in front of my window because mine faced the pond, right?
Yep.
And finally one night I hear another rock hit it and I hear Shawn. And I was like, that's a girl's voice. I should probably open up my window. And I'm like, okay, has it been you creeping around my window? What the fuck is going on? I'm like, and young Shawn's like, come on in, right? Sure. I mean, you're not going to not open up the window. It was in the
No,
middle
no,
of the
man.
night. We're in
Right.
college. You're like, whatever, man.
What a
So, dude,
gift.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm like, this is, well, thank you. So I'm sitting there. So then, like, the not, anyway. So I just thought it was really strange. I was scared for weeks on end, but it was like, it was her outside my window.
Dude.
Scariest shit I've ever. So, how did you find out where I lived?
Yo, man, that's like as soon as we spoke, it's like I opened up this filing cabinet in my head that like I haven't thought about in so fucking long, right? So it's a little
Mhm.
sketchy, other than I think I had found some text.
Gotcha.
That's got to be how I
Yeah,
got there. I
it's
found some
crazy.
text, and then maybe you had shared an address with her. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
nuts,
that's
man.
yeah.
I don't know, but hey,
I
so
don't
audio.
remember, and I may have called a friend. We had like I had a girl on the track team with us, Mallory McDonald, and she lived in the
Yeah, I know
commons
Mallory.
too. Yeah, so
Yeah,
Mallory and
yeah.
all those girls I knew really well too. And so I may have called and said like, "Hey, do you know where this guy lives?"
It's so funny, dude.
And so yeah, I just
Unbelievable.
fucking cruised. I don't know why I rode my bike over there. That seems so weird now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it was crazy. That's like one thing I noticed. I think it was white.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just don't know why I
Like,
would have rode my
like
bicycle over
literally, I just remember
there.
you, and then like a little part of a bicycle frame. I'm like, this
Yeah,
motherfucker rode his bike over here. It's like, holy shit. And I
because at
remember
that point,
inviting.
like I would have been living on Highland, like at Place du Plancher.
That's pretty far.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty far. That was 2004, I believe.
yeah,
Late,
it
no,
would have been. Yeah,
2003. It was 2003. It was 2003 because I rolled
yeah.
out of there right after that. Yeah, I rolled out of there. I think that winter was my last
Was
semester.
it due to the stress of the
It
situation?
was due to the stress of you showing up on a 10 speed. Fucking who's Sean French? I'm like, not me tonight, motherfucker. That ain't the guy. But it's crazy, dude. And I think you came in for a little bit and we talked about it
Yep.
and then that was it. And then, here you are 20 years later, my buddy Brad Johnson, got to give him a shout out for setting up this cosmic event. And you know, I mean, God, it's been so freaking long, 20 years, and here we are on this, recording and having this amazing conversation, and no blood being drawn. So it's always
No,
good.
man, and no blood being drawn then, right? Like I can't
No.
even at that age, even at 22 or whatever I was, I'm glad to have enough sense about me that like,
Mhm.
I'm going to be mad at this person who has no idea of the situation. Like this isn't a personal attack against me. This guy
Mhm.
didn't see this girl and say, "I'm gonna fuck that dude's girl" or whatever it is, right? Like,
Yeah, no.
she was on the prowl.
Dude, it was nuts, man. It was nuts. But you've been doing some amazing things since then. The Highland Games, world champion 2 time, clothing brand, amazing podcast. Um, much more handsome, I would say now. I'm like, fuck, I didn't even, I'm like, no way it's that. That's not, it can't be that motherfucker, dude. And then I just went and looked at, photos and went back. I'm like, that is the dude. You look good, man. You
Thank
look
you,
great.
man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my biggest, doing strongman and chasing strength
Mhm.
sports after college, which was super fun.
Mm,
I think my biggest, I got up to like 318. And so
Jesus.
plenty strong.
Yeah.
So man, I had to go get a physical yesterday. I hope as an athlete, this fucking resonates for you. I had to go get a physical yesterday. Simple stuff. And like ran over to urgent care to get it done. That way, like I
Mhm.
can keep getting my HRT now
Yeah, of
that
course.
you have
Yeah.
to get a physical every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
And so she's doing like height and weight.
Oh, you're
And
obese.
oh no, 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 no.
Oh,
They're
okay.
stoked, right? So I'm
Okay,
doing
cool.
height and like, man, any recruiting shit in my entire life is like 5'11 scratching 6 foot.
Right. I
And
get it.
she's like, height, 6'1". And I'm just like,
Now,
yeah. And so she says that look, she gave it fucking half a glance.
I'm like,
Yeah,
now you're going to
this is
be six
not any
one.
official measurement for like a combine, right?
Yeah.
There's a girl working at urgent care who couldn't give any less of a fuck about dealing with me.
Oh
And
God.
she says 6'1" and doesn't know what a gift she just handed me of like for the
Yeah.
rest of my life
Thank
now.
you.
I will
Thank
fucking
you.
say official measurement.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
almost 6'2", basically.
Yeah. Basically, you're more than average height. Like my wife. Here's a funny thing. So my wife looked at her old baseball program, and or the website or whatever it was.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
she looks at me and goes, 6 feet. You're not fucking 6 foot.
They were all full of
I'm like,
shit.
I'm like, I hate you. It was with cleats on, damn it. I
Yeah, I'm
was
wearing boots to fucking recruiting
yeah,
meetings, man.
I'm wearing high heels. Fucking not 6 foot. Ah, come on, give me that at least. God dang.
But yeah,
So
man. So like in my biggest, I'm up over 320. I'm sitting about 215 ish now,
mhm,
and so competed. Got into strongman, had a good time with it. Powerlifting, did some weightlifting, and finally got into a Highland Games, and it clicks. Like it's just one of those things, especially 2009 ish that you're talking about. Like it's not quite as prolific on the internet to figure out where to get
mhm,
into these type of things.
right.
So found some people, traveled to start competing in Dallas from Baton Rouge on a pretty regular basis. And then kind of the next year went to competing around the country as an amateur.
Mm,
I would schedule sales calls for the job I had in areas there would be games, and so that I could travel for the week over there to do sales, and then dive back in on competing. Oh, I lost you. There you are.
yeah, there you are. Technical difficulties.
Um,
It's go. We
yeah,
roll.
so like I would just do whatever I could to get out and compete. And so by the end of 2010, I'd won an amateur world championship, and 2011, I won amateur world championship again, which got me an automatic invite to the professional worlds.
Mhm,
I took second my first year at it, and then won the following year, took second, won the following year, and then took a couple seconds, I think, on my way out. By 2016, my right knee was kind of worn out.
mhm,
I had torn ACL while I was in college at LSU, got it fixed and competed and was fine on it. And then during post college, while running a bicycle shop, I started in Baton Rouge. I tore an ACL at a skate park,
mm.
and just didn't get it fixed. I'm fucking 22 without insurance, trying to run my own business. I think I'm clearing like
Sure.
$400 a month.
Fucking killing it.
Mm-hmm. Very proud to call myself an entrepreneur at that point. You
Hey,
bet your
hey, at
fucking
that point,
ass.
you sell the bike you rode over to my house with?
Fuck, I probably. Man, I was way happier to wear that hat than actually do the work.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
Um, so got out of that finally, struggling, and then got a real job for 10 years, and then got into the games. It's 2016 while I'm kind of toward the end of things overlap, right? Like, so my apparel brand started in 2014.
Right.
And then 2016 was kind of my last time to compete. I went in to do an ACL at the end of a season just to take a year off, rehab, document it all. I've been doing YouTube
Mhm.
content and everything by this point for
Yeah.
quite a while. And, it just never took. So I ended up having
Yeah.
like 9 surgeries over the next 3 years, like 5 ACLs. Like, would go in, get an ACL surgery, rehab for 3 months. They'd check it out and be like, it's gone.
Fuck.
ACL again. So I just dove back in. Um, so eventually the knee's just trashed. There's just nothing
Mhm.
left in there. So after 2017, um, I'm just full entrepreneur, got let go of my company, and like, man, I'm traveling with a cane. Like, I can't fucking
Yeah.
walk more than about 200 yards a day.
Damn.
And so go through that for a couple of years of pretty nasty chronic pain, got pretty ugly, dark,
Mhm.
and a lot of loss of identity and kind of figuring out life on the back end of athletics. Total knee replacement finally in 2019 saved my fucking life, man.
Wow, man. That's powerful. You're talking about all this, like reclaiming your self identity after athletics is the hardest thing. When I was done, I had no clue who the fuck I was without baseball. I was no
Mm-hmm.
longer Shawn, the baseball player. I was Shawn. The problem was I didn't know who Shawn was, so, down the road, I started doing a lot of stupid shit, burning friendships, burning bridges, doing a lot of things intentional, like intentionally hurting people, right?
Mm-hmm.
To where I couldn't say like, "Hey, man, I didn't know." It was like literally I turned into that dude, and it was all because I was just so hurt, and I had this hole inside of me, this just gaping hole in my soul, dude. I was just heartbroken over how my career ended and the injury that just ended it all, and the shitty ass mindset that was stuck in it that couldn't allow me to get out of my own, pool of urine, so to speak. You know what
So
I'm
what
saying?
injury? How did things go for you?
I had well, it started with the blood clot in JUCO, right? I had the
Oh
blood
shit.
clot. I almost died. Yeah, I got through that in 2000 and shoot, what was it, man? It was 97, so 90, so 99. So it was the spring of 99 to where I literally had to, I mean, I had a scholarship to Louisville on the line, and all of a sudden, like I couldn't lift my catching arm, and it was just like a bad pull right here underneath.
And just quit
And
healing.
dude, it just started. I don't know what it was, man. Then it just started. I started getting a fever, like a really
Mm.
bad fever. It was like 100. It like at the peak of it was 103, but it was consistently at 102 and a half. It was bad, dude, for weeks upon weeks, and I was still fucking playing. I'm like, I have to play. I have to do this. And
Mm-hmm.
finally, my girlfriend at the time said, "Hey, you know what? You're to a point that it was close to Thanksgiving, and I know that because I spent Thanksgiving in the fucking hospital. It's my favorite holiday. It's like, like in the fucking people are bringing pumpkin pie. My teammates are bringing me porno magazines. It's like, guys, this is like fucking. What am I going to do with this pie after I'm done with this magazine? What the fuck's going on?
Wrong
So
order of operation.
yeah, guys, come on, you guys got this all fucked
Pie
up.
first.
Yeah, exactly. Save that for next visit. So I get through that. And they said to me, I was laying, I remember vividly, I was sitting there in that hospital bed in Walnut Creek, California. They said, "Hey, I said, when can I play? Like, can you get me out of here? I got a blood clot. Can you just cut it out?"
Yeah.
But we can't, because if it goes too far, it goes to your heart, you're gonna die. I'm like, wait a second.
What do you mean
Okay.
die?
We mean, like, I'm fucking 19 years old. I'm
Yeah.
fine. Can you just drain this thing? Do whatever you have to do, whatever, blood thinner, heparin, or Coumadin you got to inject me with. Break this motherfucker up, and I got it. Like, the season's in a month. Will I be ready? They looked at me and laughed. They go, you know, we have to determine if this is a um, injury due to a trauma or a blood disorder. I was like, well, either one, I don't give a fuck. Like, when can I
Mm-hmm.
play? Well, that's going to be depending on what the answer to those questions are. If it's a trauma, we have to put you on blood thinners. I go, cool. How long? Like 7 months. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so I'll just take the blood thinners. I'm good. I play. And they're like, no, no, no. You're not playing baseball this year. You're not. I'm like, because if a ball hits you, you could bleed and, won't stop. I'm like, all right, then don't just break it up now. And then don't give me the blood thinner. I'll just go out there and play. Like, that's not the way it works. I'm like, okay, fine. Fuck. What's the second option? Well, we find out it's a blood disorder and you can never play baseball again. I'm like, turned out to be a trauma. I guess it was caused in a collision. Me and the third baseman trying to get a foul ball, and it didn't hurt. I don't know if I fell on it wrong or what, but there's that.
Yeah, shit happens.
Shit happens, man. At LSU specifically, it was, rotator cuff. I was just, I had the surgery. And then it was Skip Burtman's final year. And I remember going up to him and saying, "Hey man, I just can't coach. I just can't throw anymore. Like, I can't even shift gears in my piece of shit Honda Prelude." Right. And it was bad, dude. The bumper was falling off and shit. I've come a long way, man. Come a long
I
way.
hear you.
So I go into him, I say, "Hey, I'm gonna have to I gotta get surgery, coach. I'm gonna have to take the year off." And he's like, "Ooh, that's tough. You were gonna split time with, Matt Heath this year. You're gonna get a lot of playing time." And I debated. I'm like, well, do I just say fuck it and just deal with the pain and play? But I just realized that there's 12,000 people at the stadium on Wednesday nights, and if I'm shit, everybody in Baton Rouge is going to hate me, right? So I was like, no, I should probably get surgery. Right after my surgery, they were coming up to me, not Skip, but like Smoke Laval and Turtle Thomas were saying, "Hey, you need to leave because we got this guy coming in next year." I was like, I just got out of surgery. Like, can I heal? Can I have an opportunity to get to show you what I can do? I'm here for a reason, right? Well, this guy was Gatorade Player of the Year. I'm like, I understand he's a stud, but let me lose by just him beating me out. And so right then, it was just when that mindset just shifted. It was just like, not good enough. All the people telling me all the bad shit that I was when I was a kid, I'd never make it without baseball. That volume got really fucking high,
I
right?
bet, dude.
And it broke me. And dude, like, I was just a miserable person to be around. And my senior year, I ended up working my way up from the sixth of the depth chart to the backup, and got 18 at bats, and it just ended poorly, right? I didn't even get a rep in the College World Series.
Yeah.
And so when I say that, the me finding out who I was afterwards was just so exhausting and tough, right? I feel like now that I'm 44, three beautiful children, a beautiful wife, finding who the fuck I am, what I'm supposed to do. Now I just got to
Mhm.
make it all happen so I could do it full time, right? But
Yeah,
there
I
was
think it's
bad
a
moments.
fucking bummer that we've convinced people, right, that by 25 they're supposed to have figured it out.
How in the fuck is that possible, Matt?
Well, so one of the sayings that I like a lot is this idea that like we'll be soldiers so our sons can be farmers, and we'll be farmers so our sons can be teachers, and we'll be teachers so
Mhm.
our sons can be artists.
Mhm.
Well, we got there. This is what we're doing. We're in a society now, and we have enough abundance that a lot of us can pursue the thing that we're interested in and make a living at it.
Mhm.
Our parents' generation did sell us on this idea that you can do whatever you want as long as you
Mhm.
work really hard. That's true again. When we graduated, it wasn't. It was very much this: you can do whatever you want until like, okay, time to quit being a fucking kid and move on with your life.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that comes from like, think about our parents' generation and how they were raised, right? Like that boomers raised by this post World War II generation. Like these are people, the World War II generation's actually coming out of scarcity, where the greatest thing you could do with your life is fucking comfort.
Mm.
Can you imagine not having to worry about food? That'd be the greatest fucking gift ever. Can you
Yeah.
imagine air condition or any of this? And so our parents bit hard on that line and built the American dream: the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the not have to worry about food, the 401k, and a job you go to every day and don't ever have to worry about it.
Yep. Yep. Steady income,
Yep.
salary job. You're good. Yeah.
And it's not supposed to stay that way. Nothing stays anyway. Like everything's transitional.
Mhm.
And so, in the same way society is there, like we've got to adapt too. There's a reason we don't still have 9 kids per family like we did at turn of the 20th century.
Mhm.
It adapts with what things are, and so there's going to be us on the front end of the adaptation that realize they don't have to play the regular game and be miserable part of the machine that makes money. Like you can hustle and do your own thing, but it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work figuring out the puzzle to make your own life of whatever you want it to be and be honest with yourself. Or you can sell all your fucking time to a job you don't give a shit about.
Mhm.
Both are hard.
Choose your heart, right? And that's the
That's
thing.
it.
It's there's so and one thing I want to point out too, because I'm caught in the middle of both of them, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, they're both very hard, right? But this is the hard that I would want to do full time. Like I want to
Right.
do this, but then I think like I can't act as if I would if it was just me and my wife. I have three children to
That's
think
right.
about. I got to do it smart. I got to be,
Mm-hmm.
I got to be strategic, right? And I just got to, and then the industry will tell you, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Someone will find you, and it'll all change. I'm like, no,
That's
that's
not
not
how
how it
any of this
works.
shit works, man.
That's not how any of this shit works. You
You
pay
think
for
there's
ads,
somebody
but you
wandering out there dying to help you
get
fulfill your dreams? Get
are
the
you
fuck
fucking
out of
kidding
here.
me? Come on, the right person to hear my show. The right people have heard my show. That's just
That's
not how
it.
the world
That's not
works,
how it
right?
works, man. You think that there's
No,
this moment of like, I get him on it, it's going to change. It doesn't.
no, it does. It doesn't do anything, dude. I tell you, man, and you probably notice this too by looking at your own analytics. The shows you think are going to be massive in your whatever your stats, your fucking rankings, or whatever the
Mm-hmm.
fuck your analytics. Those aren't the ones that hit. It's
Nope.
the ones that no one knows who they are.
Well, I mean,
Like
it's
the
a
big.
variation, right? It also depends on then how you market it and where you share
Mhm,
it, and does it get enough eyes and what your audience is
mhm,
into. Because I mean, my podcast has been really consistent. Like we're a little over, I don't know, 330, 340 episodes or something like
mhm.
that since 2017. And the episodes that me and my wife Bonnie do together perform just as well as me flying a guest in. So if I'm
Absolutely.
listening to the analytics, right, like hell, I'll just have her on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's not strictly how I want to make a show. Like I want to
Yeah.
talk to people I'm interested in.
Yeah,
And
of
so at
course.
some point, like there's the push and shove of I'm going my way and I'll continue to figure it out, because I'm aware that there's shows that people talk to people they're interested in, like Chris Williams or Rogan or any of these others that are
Mhm.
that style with a variety of guests. And they do really well. And then there's people that just chase data and grow their show that way. But to
Yeah.
me, I didn't get into this to have someone else tell me what to fucking make.
Mhm.
And so if I follow that strictly and it's not in line with what I want to do, then I got a job again.
Yeah, it's a really great point you just brought up, brother, because I've had people tell me like, "Hey, on your show, you don't have a set list of questions that you're
Mm.
asking your guests. Like, you need to prepare better and ask all these questions." I was like, "Why? So my fucking guests can feel like they're being interrogated?" No, no,
For
no. I want
anybody
to have
with a big show gave you that advice?
fucking I'm like, it wasn't a big show.
Well,
And I
then,
said, be very clear and understand. It wasn't anybody who had a podcast. It was just somebody from the peanut gallery. And I'm like,
sure.
I'm not doing that. That's not how I want to do things. Like, I want to have an unscripted conversation with really cool people that are successful after overcoming massive amounts of adversity in their life, whatever it is. Like, if you, your clothing brand doing over 7 figures, an amazing podcast, a wife doing really cool things. Like, don't tell me how to run it, because the only way that I know how to do shit is my way,
Hmm.
and it's
No,
landed some.
I agree with it, right? And like, I hope for you the same way, what I got out of stuff, when my career ended and I wasn't able to throw anymore due to the injury, man, it was one thing the identity of like, oh fuck, I can't throw anymore. Like,
Mhm.
I'm smart enough to know that shit comes to an end, right? Like I remember track and field in college coming to an end and all that. And
Right.
I even remember competing and being at my best and being at the top and telling people like, look, this is a thing I do. This isn't going to make my tombstone. I love this shit,
Mhm.
but it
Mhm.
isn't who I am. And where I fucked up on that and where the universe decided to challenge me was, what if you're not able to move around anymore?
Mhm.
And I wasn't prepared to not be an athlete.
Right.
That part I wasn't prepared for, man. And so what dove into that identity really was, all of my self-confidence, all of this stuff I had built of being me really came from this machine. Like for me being lucky enough that I got dropped into a machine that responded to anything I'd basically ever asked it to do as an athlete.
Mhm.
It got stronger. It was big enough. It could run fast and play sports and do all this and learn and get better. And it was athletic. Um, and when that was gone, ooh, now who the fuck am I?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like
Initially,
I
how did
just,
you deal with that? Where did your mind go?
it's bad because, the first part is just this dark anger and
Mhm.
bitterness around fucking how dare the universe.
Mhm.
There's so many people out there with good fucking working legs who don't do shit with them.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
like, what
mine's
the
gonna
fuck?
fucking fail, right? Like I
Yeah.
train my ass off. I do the rehab correctly. Like I know my shit. It
Mhm.
didn't work out.
Yeah.
And
It's amazing.
so it got really dark. I got really bitter. I fucking got annoyed when friends wanted to do stuff that we had to walk to because I can't fucking
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
And so I got real shut in and got real shitty. And then constantly being in pain, my knee kind of stayed to where a really good day was like a 3,
Mhm.
and then a really bad day, which could be from I walked 200 yards. I now get like a stabbing pain in my knee that's like an 8 or a 9 when I exhale.
Right now? Y
No, 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 when it was fucked.
Oh. Oh,
And so like
wow.
I
Yeah.
get this stabbing pain when I exhale, and like you can't avoid that. And so now the more I know too, right? So now I'm spending probably the better part of 2 years chest breathing and constantly staying in fight or flight. So now I'm fucking packing cortisol levels. I'm fucking not
Wow.
sleeping at night. Everything's fucked other than I keep having surgery.
Yeah.
And really honest with myself at that point, like I'm doing YouTube already, right? And so I'm going into this first surgery with, I'm going to document this. I'm going to show the rehab. This gets people back on the field. I'm going to come back
Mhm.
and win a world championship.
Right.
6 surgeries later, I'm very aware at this point, like, get back to competing. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
We can't walk. And so scared, right?
Yeah.
Just super fucking scared. And then, trying to even just accept it. And the acceptance being like, So all of those adventures and things and hikes and crazy shit, not crazy shit, but adventure I want to take, see the world, like, so that's done now.
Mhm.
Like I closed all that door. And that was a really tough one to swallow and have acceptance of. If we're going to move forward, we've got to kind of deal with it, right? That this is what
Mhm.
we can control. And um yeah, I knew that if I didn't figure out how to get out of chronic pain, like, I don't fucking die of old age. I'm going to end up killing myself.
Yeah, of course. Right.
And so
Right.
if I'm honest with myself enough to know that I don't know when I lose this fight, if it's a year from now or 5 years or 15 years from now, but at some point I do, I lose the mental fight with this. And if that's the result, then what's any risk of trying to get better?
Mhm.
Fucking try everything, throw everything at it. And so that launched me into a ketogenic diet because it reduces inflammation, right? Like,
Mhm.
I'm not allowed to be okay with that other very extreme decision, right? That ending my life or whatever it is,
Mhm.
unless I can say I did everything. But don't bullshit yourself. So change your diet, lose weight, and see if inflammation changes it. If there's something that you could be doing that's removing pain and you're not doing it, you're an asshole.
Mm.
So take accountability for it. I quit drinking because that was causing more inflammation. I
Mhm.
know that I can't stay on pain meds. We all know how that fucking long term
Yeah.
story goes.
Yeah, of course.
So I know that that's a problem. I've been on them for 2.5 years. Luckily for me, whatever the addiction side of stuff is, I really don't have.
Mhm.
Um, I ended up starting to use cannabis as help with pain and found a gigantic savior there. I was
Mhm.
able to sleep again. I was in a better mood. And it just, I wouldn't say made pain better. I just didn't give a shit about it,
Yeah. Yeah,
which was fine.
yeah, that's cool. Right, I
It's
get
not
it.
like it was better to where I could go train,
Mhm.
but I could survive on a normal basis and be nice to fucking people I was around.
Right. Yeah.
Um, And so, kind of with that one, man, like I didn't smoke or do any of that up until that point. Like with college or anything else, I'm too fucking
Right.
scared to get popped on a drug test. Like Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
can't
it
think
was
of
scary enough
anything
not.
more anything more embarrassing than
Yeah,
losing my scholarship for a fucking drug test.
for a fucking one night blunt. Fucking
Oh, my
stupid.
parents would have fucking burned me at the stake. Uh, and so when I started using cannabis to manage it, like I'm in my 30s and like my life's together, and there's a big part of me that really believes all this shit we grew up with. That
Mhm.
like I don't know how much, but there's an amount of this that'll ruin my life, that I'll become a
Of
fucking
course.
loser.
Mhm.
And none of that's true.
Right.
I didn't
It
find any case of that.
Yeah, it's amazing because I'm listening to this, and then this is where the listeners are just gonna love this story because you're having these moments of, I don't know when I'm gonna lose this battle. It could be a month from now, a year from now, 15 years from now. But if I don't get out of this chronic pain and not
That's the
throwing
story.
everything out, right? It's just like, to me, like when someone says to you, like, well, how did you know to move at that point? Like, no, that's the fucking move. Like, it's the, hey, this could end up taking my life in 15 years. And if I don't do anything about this, I'm a fucking asshole.
But do
And
you follow Alex Hermosi stuff?
oh, of course, man. Of
Right.
course.
So like what he talks about with people making a decision, like in the sale.
Hmm.
It's the same deal, right? Like my pain of staying the same
Hmm.
far outweighed the pain of changing.
Right.
So I changed.
Hmm.
But it wasn't until I reached that point with myself and admitted it that I was able to really go full bore into the other.
I think that's true with everything, right? Like whether it's, how you do your sales call, if you're a sales professional, realizing you're doing the sales call wrong and you either, hate the pain so much that you're in right now because you're losing, you're not making money, you have to hate that much more than the process of the change. Same thing with weight, right? Same thing with not eating like an asshole at night. I'll admit that is when I eat like an asshole.
Yeah, same.
I Bro, I once I touch fucking chocolate, it's like a sex addict. It is
Dude, I
bad.
struggled during lockdown. I figured out here in St. Louis that like we've got cookie delivery places.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Come on, man. Like I
That's
wasn't built
fucked
to be
up.
mature enough to fucking
No, no.
hit that button at night.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So,
It's just so, like, that's my point though. Like everything in our lives, we can pinpoint the fact that are we in enough current pain, whether it's emotional or physically right now, to be like, all right, let me move. Let me make a
Mhm.
decision, right? Because you just have to get so damn tired of that current state that you're willing to make that.
So
And
I think that that's what your average person needs to like start making a change.
mhm, yep.
I think once that you can kind of start mastering more of yourself, right? Like I'm able to kind of look at things, right? That like if I know something's not in alignment anymore, but it's just a little bit out of alignment, like I'm not doing something right, whatever it is,
Mhm,
I've got a feeling,
yeah.
but it's not worth changing yet, right? Because the pain's not so bad. But if I can spend some reflection time and say, hey, what does 5 years of not addressing this look like? Are we then in a problem that we should probably have that we should address because we're really
Mhm,
struggling? So why don't we just fucking do that now?
yeah. Yeah. Too many people, I think it falls into instant versus delayed gratification, right?
Dude, but that's the
Uh,
best part we got from the athletic thing.
mhm, yeah.
You know, what a gift. What other people don't get it.
Mm-mm,
Other people aren't given that, but the athletic thing teaches you all the recipes of success in anything
mhm.
because what it teaches you is progress.
That's all. That's all you should be
And
shooting for,
it's not linear. You're aware of that too from the athletic side, right? That
dude.
there's going to be plateaus. And whenever you plateau, you need a different stimulus to get a different result.
Yeah.
Why would
Yeah.
any other part of my life not be the same? If I want my muscles to grow right, like I've got to push them to a certain level of discomfort so that they grow back and adapt stronger. Why
Mhm,
would I emotionally be any different? Why would my risk tolerance be any different? Why would
yeah.
any of this stuff with my own confidence be any different?
Yeah. It's interesting because not a lot of people look at it like that. Like you said, we were blessed with that. And at
Mhm.
times, and I can look at it like my show and building my brand. And I don't know how it was for you, but it's not fucking linear. Like you said, dude, it has been
No,
a
dude.
roller coaster. I mean, there was a point where, dude, it was getting so toxic for me. I took 4 months off. I was like, I'm not dropping another show. I'm not doing
So
anything.
what part about it got toxic?
I think for me was just having to monetize, make
Mm.
money, make money, make money, make money. That's not who I am. Like I will get results, but like for me, I want to grow a brand to where, you know, I'm impacting billions of people, having conversations with people, and my words and my determination, motivation actually helping them to move forward. And I focused on the wrong thing early on.
Yeah.
Right. I was just like, okay, I need to do this as quickly as possible so I don't have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. The money part is a side effect,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
look at the money part as a side effect of building building something that's valuable.
Hmm.
Same way with I think happiness works the same way. Like I don't think you can directly become happy. I think you
Right.
can
No.
create happiness in your
Mhm.
life. So kind of that same deal, man. That monetization part's tough because back again, like, are you following someone else's desire to grow this? And that's one of the reasons for me
Mhm.
with my podcast. What I promoted on it was my own stuff. I've
Mhm.
got my own brand. I've got my own things that I'm able to sell.
Mhm. Smart.
So
Yeah,
well, I
smart.
just looked at it like if I'm building anything at this point, like I've got to take all roads.
Yeah,
And so, I mean,
absolutely.
YouTube content wise, man, I'm really proud of the content we've put together on YouTube, man. I've probably got 1,400 videos on that channel.
That's
I've
badass,
vlogged
man.
for a number of years. I learned how to video edit and shoot. And more recently, like we've got to do some rad projects. Last
Yeah.
year, I got to work with Indian motorcycles,
Oh, wow, that's cool.
and so we filmed like a travel show for them. And
Damn.
because I love what we do, but I like production. Like I
Mhm.
like the filming and directing and trying to shoot and create a project.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't think I would, but I fucking love that. Like part of everything I'm doing is a scam to get a chance to do that.
That I love it.
Right?
I
Like
lo I
that's
love I love the forward thinking. Like, I love it.
um so I mean even 2000, just to give you determined, right? Like what we're talking
Mhm.
about with the show. So I'm growing my YouTube channel, kind of vlogging here and there, and I decide like, man, I'd love to do a travel show. I want to do a travel show at that time, like highly inspired by Bourdain, anybody
Yeah.
else, right? But I'll
Yeah.
do this travel show and interview people in strength and conditioning, and then kind of document. I get to travel and compete around the world.
Fuck yeah, that's cool.
And so we had a project I came up with called the Drift to Lifta. And like, I didn't bother trying to get anyone on board to monetize
Mhm.
it. I fucking paid for it. Me and a buddy went out to fucking California and filmed it for a week, edited it, and aired it. And we did it
That's
for
sick.
5 years.
No way.
Um, yeah, we filmed all those on our own and shot it. We filmed in Iceland one year. We came out to Georgia and shot with like Reese Hoffa and these other Olympic shot putters. We went out to California and shot with Kelly Starrett, Mark Bell, and some other great guys, Jesse Burdick. We went to Iceland one year and shot for 10 days with some friends. It's been a ride, but like I paid for all that. Like there wasn't
Yeah.
someone fucking fronting that. That was my dream that I paid to fucking put out in the
Mhm.
hope that the return on the investment would be good. And it has been.
That's
But
awesome, man.
that gets us to the point where, I after the knee replacement decided like I gotta train for something. Because
Yeah.
dude, going to the gym for the sake of health, real struggle. I barely give a shit.
Bro, dude, like,
I
can we
barely give a
fucking like,
shit.
this is what, here's, you just hit an important point. So I have to interrupt. I'm sorry. All these fitness trainers out there that are telling people, you know what you need to do? Stop eating like an asshole and go to the gym. You know how fucking hard that is for somebody? Like, I don't, it's not as easy as just making the decision. I am a
Well,
former Division 1 athlete, and for
but we're
me,
we're in a
it
different
is
we're in a
hard.
different ballpark, right? Like we already have the physical language and culture in us because we've trained and got to see response and we've been healthy and know how to build muscle and we understand what foods are good.
Mhm.
But most people don't even have that metric to start with.
Yeah, but
And
to
then
your
they get
point,
into their
even
30s and
then,
don't know
yeah,
how to fucking train at all. And it's too much to want to go to the fucking gym and not know what you're doing at this age and possibly be around a bunch of people who used to make fun of you.
yeah, exactly. And
I
you
get
think
it.
that maybe are now. And that's my point though. It's like, for you, I'm the same way. Like I just can't go to go. Like I have to say I need to train for something. Like
Yep.
this is something that I need to train for. And I think I have that now. You
What
and
are
I
you training
spoke.
for?
Well, I can't say it on air yet,
Okay.
right? Because it was a partnership that you know about that I haven't
Yeah,
announced.
right, right.
So to me, that right there, for me is more training for that, because that has the potential to really blow up and be a big thing for me, and I need to be the part, right?
Dude, I
So
love that. And look, whenever you do it, let's have you back on my show. We'll talk about it.
I would love it, man. I would
Especially if
love
you're
it.
going to be in and out of St. Louis sometimes.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
So,
People, yeah,
um,
that's
you
right.
know,
Because you're in
um,
St. Louis now.
yeah, St. Louis, man, that's where my
Yeah,
headquarters and everything is.
yeah. I think I'll be there very, very soon.
Cool.
Don't you
Um,
fucking know?
yeah, man, so kind of like getting back into training, like I'd kind of finally healed up to the point where like, all right, I need something.
Hmm.
And so I was trying to, contemplate it, right? Because it's a little daunting because
Hmm.
like strength shit, like that's really my bread and butter, and that's what I want to do. But like physically, I can't. Like I'm never gonna lift a PR again.
Yeah,
And great, I'm fucking 40. That's
yeah,
probably. I'm glad I found out how absolutely strong I could be when I was in pursuit of that.
yeah.
Um, and so all those things felt weird. I can't get back into throwing. Like I can't do it. So I was like, fuck it. What about running? I've never run. I'm a big guy. And also, what a great lower the bar. I'm not going to be a world champion runner.
Hmm.
There's zero fucking chance. There's no chance that 40-year-old 250-pound me on a fake knee is becoming a great runner. So the only metric I give a shit about, right, for training for this was how much better at running can I get in 16 weeks if I give a shit about it.
Mm.
And then at the end of it, I signed up to do a like ultra trail run, so like 20-mile trail run in Bryce Canyon, Utah. And I'm looking at it, and the completion time for like, drop dead time is like 7 hours. I got to move at like 2.6 miles an hour to finish this thing.
Hmm.
That's walking. So like I can finish. I'm not trying to go run the whole thing. I don't have a time I'm trying to win by. I don't
Hmm.
care about any of those metrics other than I'd like to be in good enough shape to go to Bryce Canyon and do the event, enjoy it. And I would have put in enough effort that day that when I cross the finish line, I'm empty.
Hmm.
That's it. And so I trained for it. We went out and did it and filmed it. And the project's on my YouTube channel called Fragile. And man, it was great. It was really good. It was a big shift in me to go from being injured as long as I was to now like, oh man, I can take damage again. Like
Mm.
it's okay to push. I'd been so scared for so long that anytime it hurts, fuck, we're back. We're back in this
Yeah.
thing. And
Yeah.
now I'm aware that like, oh, I can push again and deal with hurt because it does go away.
Yeah. I think that's a big thing, dude, for former athletes and people that have accomplished a lot of things at a higher level is finding that one thing, right? Is
Mhm.
finding that one thing and just training and make it about that. Put it on the calendar, create a plan and burn the fucking boat, right? Just literally go for it.
Are you
You said
familiar with Michael Easter?
I feel
Michael
like
Easter
I
is an
feel like
author. He's got a book, Comfort Crisis.
oh, okay.
And so one of the things he talks about in the book, and I really love that book, um, he talks about this idea of a misogi. And so like once a year, having some big challenge, like some big physical challenge for yourself. And like the rules of it are don't die.
Good.
And when you pick this challenge, it needs to be scary enough that you think as of right now, you got less than a 50% chance that you could finish it.
That's awesome.
And so I did the Bryce Canyon thing, trained for that, and that was fun. It took me a little over 6 hours to complete. And as an explosive thrower athlete, I've never done anything for 6 fucking
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the following year, last year, I decided to do a cycling thing. And so there's a trail across Missouri called the Katy Trail. It's 243 miles. And I set out to train for it and I rode it in a day. So I rode for 21 hours, 22 minutes straight.
Mm.
And was fun.
That's
Kind of the
freaking awesome, dude.
curiosity behind that was like, if I can learn to hydrate and I can
Yeah.
learn to fuel myself, what gives up first? Will my body actually give up first if I'm fueling it, or will this?
That.
Yeah,
You got to trick that
I want
thing.
to know. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I want to know, when does it start saying, "Oh shit"?
Mhm.
Because look, we'll stop when I can't move the bike any further. That's like, if we get to that point, great.
Yeah.
We found a max. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not asking for any more than that.
Yeah, I think that's a good outlook on it, right? I mean, for me, when you're talking about, you don't die, and then also there's a 50% chance you won't complete it if it were today. To me, it would be a marathon
Yeah,
or and a Spartan race.
sure.
Something like that. And it's like what I like to do is I like to toy around with it. I'll look, I'll Google it, and I'll be like, oh, that one's in Georgia. Fuck, it's in Georgia. I'm not gonna go do that. Got 3 kids. I'm not gonna fucking go to Georgia to do this
So,
fucking
dude, like
event.
I'll do trail runs, but like they're an excuse to now go to a national park.
It's beautiful.
Right. Like if I'm gonna go
Yeah.
do it, man, I'm here for the enjoyment. Like,
Exactly. So I'm gonna dig into that because that's really cool, man. For me, I've been telling myself for so long, marathon, marathon, marathon. It scares me the most,
yeah.
right? And so I just feel like, you know, conquering something like that, it really shows the determination of the brand, right? It shows who you are as a person. And for me, I got to dig back into that. So this has been an inspiring conversation for me, dude.
Thanks,
Like,
man.
yeah, absolutely, man. I kind of figure it would be. I knew we'd have some humor at the beginning to warm people up. And if they stuck around this long, there's a lot of really good things going on in this conversation. I heard one thing that you said that I really enjoyed and I picked up on. It was after your pops passed away,
Yeah.
and you just started talking about not dead yet, and the average life expectancy of the
Mhm.
men in your family, and you started deducing like, okay, how much time do I have left? And then to me, that's where, fuck, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. 1612,
That's it.
1612 weeks left, right?
At
And
31.
at 31. So talk to the audience about that, like kind of the perspective, walk them through that whole story because they may not have seen it or heard it.
Sure. My in 2014, or 2013 in May, my dad gets diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Ugh.
And so we go through that awful process, and
My grandmother
it
passed from
really,
that.
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
as soon as my mom got the news, right? And like, this is before we're even saying the term cancer.
Mhm.
There's just something, there's a spot on an
Yeah.
image or whatever it was,
Yeah.
right? So I Google pancreatic cancer and I'm like, oh, I killed Steve Jobs. And I was like, we're
Mhm.
probably not going to get out of this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, watched over the next 11 months, man. Like I just watched him fucking shrivel up and fade away. And to go from who my dad was, right? Like this outdoors guy and a strong guy and a capable man to not being able to get around the house and go outside. And I remember the last time I put my hands on him, man, it just wasn't there. He
Damn.
just wasn't there, right? And the fear of that was like, I know the body goes at some point,
Mhm.
but to look at it from this perspective of like, oh, he's not sick in his head, he's trapped. Like his brain still knows how to do all the things he loves, and they're all just outside the door. He just physically can't fucking go anymore. And so having some real empathy for him, through that process, and kind of what clicked for me is, there's a chance that that's how it goes. There's a chance that no matter what I do, what choices I make, or anything, that it ends fucking horribly with me shriveling up and fighting some awful fucking disease and losing all sense of who I am and everything. So the ride's got to be worth it.
Mm.
If there's a chance that that's how I go, the ride between here and there has to be worth it. And thinking about it at that point, right? Like, so he's 62 when he passed the day before my birthday. And kind of reflecting more of that was that just hit with bricks of you're halfway through your fucking life.
Mm.
And what does that really mean? What are we doing with our time? And what that means is I got 1,612 weeks left to fucking do everything I've ever dreamed about. That's it. Get on the fucking clock, man, because just for perspective, 1,612 weeks is gone. And how quick did it feel like we got here?
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, like really looking at each week. And so I have this jar of marbles that I keep that started with 1,612 and now has 1,133 in it as of today, Sunday. Be 11:33, 11:32 tomorrow. And I pull my marble out and I do some reflection and I journal. And the questions I asked myself was, how was it spent? Did I spend it doing a bunch of shit I feel obligated to do in my life that I'm supposed to do, that I'm trying to live for other people and do all this? Or did I spend it being present around people I fucking love, doing things that set my soul on fire and choosing to make progress all the time toward my goals and my dreams? Because either way, I put it in the fucking trash. It's not more valuable one way or the other. It's fucking gone. So if you're not getting any extra reward, or you're not a martyr for one way and you're not a fucking special, person for doing it the other, there's no risk.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I just decided to live differently.
Dude, it's one, and here's the thing, man. Like I love that, and it's a visual, it's a reflection. It's, you're looking at that jar and you're like, okay, one more marble, one more week gone. Did I live it according to me being present around the people who give a fuck about me and who I give a fuck about? Again, the large part of the population, right, is going to, in that face you're making, where I'm going with it,
Yep.
man. It's sad because they have that moment like you had, and yet they can't get through week fucking 2, and they wave their white flag and it's done, and they just said, you know what, I'm a passenger on this ship and this is just what it's going to be. What would you say to those people?
Look, man, if you're happy being a passenger, I ain't here to fucking argue with you. The
Yeah.
truth is, I don't fucking care if you don't care about your dreams. But if you do, I'm into it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest fucking rule of all is you're not allowed to let someone else care about your dreams more than you. It doesn't work that way. And I
Right.
damn sure don't care about someone else's more than mine.
You
Right.
shouldn't.
And
Yeah.
that's not like I don't get to be an asshole because of that. That doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
I get to get in the way. It means I'm free to pursue my fucking dreams at whatever passion I want, as long as I don't ever pretend it's more valuable than someone else in chasing theirs.
Right.
I can't ever get
Right.
in the way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For those people that don't give a shit, right on, man.
Yeah.
Right on. Because look, I'm fucking haunted by it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you. And it's funny because I'm getting to the point where I'm like thinking, and I don't know if you're a parent, but
No.
I didn't think so. But I'm sitting there and I'm like looking at my kids. I'm thinking, fuck, did I do everything I could have today to stay healthy?
Mm.
And did I ingest anything that could come back and boomerang on my ass? Like, what's going on? Because those 3 children deserve to have me healthy and here as long as possible.
And not
Right.
just that, right? Like look at the advantages, so not having kids and being able to kind of reflect on things in life too. Look, I really believe there's so much that comes from childhood that creates like our base self.
Mhm.
This idea that I have about, we are this accumulation of the experiences and things that we're surrounded by, the people we're around, the community we're in, right? Like, uh, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in, Concord, California, the San Francisco Bay.
Okay, so I grew up in Louisiana.
Mhm.
And so exposure to religion, all these type of things growing up, right? Like my mom being Methodist, my dad, kind of being involved in the church thing, but we went every Sunday. And so one of those questions like I have from my mom is like, did you choose Methodist because it's the best philosophy that fits with what you agree with, or are you Methodist because of where you were born? And she said, well, I've
Mm.
never thought of it that way. I was like, so if you were born on the other side of the world, would you be Muslim? Is it just that simply as what landed you here? Or did you choose Methodist because it best fits what you align with?
Mm.
Did you look at the other options? Do you know what they are? And so, like at that point, I kind of look at everything of creating the best self that I want to be from my base self. My base self is what's generated by all those experiences, the who's and whats I was born around, the kids I went to high school with, what their parents were like, X, Y, and Z, and whether I was more into it or less into it.
Mhm.
Whether my dad pushed me really hard and it made me go this way because I was turned off by it, or I responded well, whatever it means. But nonetheless, I didn't pick any of those things.
Mhm.
But if I can honestly say that I am some accumulation of those situations, then to create the best me, what are the situations he needs to be around that creates that?
Mm.
So that's picking the people that I want to be around. That's picking the material I want to consume and be, that I want to integrate into my life. That's choosing things that are difficult. That's leading and taking action, because it's those actions that make us who we are, not what we say. What we say means jack shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the actions we take every day. And like with your situation of having kids, man, I think about, my parents were great. We're great. Um, However, now that I'm, 40 and trying to get other shit done, neither of my parents were entrepreneurs. I'm
Mhm.
aware of what setback that is now.
Oh, shit,
Of
yeah,
like,
man.
Jesus Christ, if I would have grown up in an environment that thought this way or looked at finances in some other way than what the typical boomer generation does, of like
Mhm.
money comes in and then we hold on to it forever.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that. Can't
you
it's
know,
like, yeah, different ideologies, man. I feel that
Right.
for sure.
If my parents would have said, like, oh, when the money comes in, look, we bought this rental property because we still have access to the money, and the way that you can finance it and you can leverage equity
Yeah.
to be able to, Jesus Christ, why couldn't we have learned any of this?
Yeah, like, what the
Instead, I
fuck?
got fucking 10 weeks on diagramming sentences. Like, you don't think maybe
Yeah.
something a little bit more could have helped?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I failed diagramming sentences and have written 3 books. So fuck use was that.
Yeah, seriously, I've written one book, that's it, just
Right.
one, just one. But,
Mine
like,
are mostly training manuals. They're nothing fancy.
but they're 3
But they're
books.
fucking books. I said I'm
With
going to write a book and I wrote a book. You know who you need permission from to write a book? No one.
you,
That's it. Write a
your
fucking
own
book. You
damn
can
self.
publish it yourself. Everyone
Fuck
thinks
it.
there's some fucking gatekeeper in life that you're asking permission from.
Dude, I think that's where they're out of alignment with their confidence. We talk about confidence. Confidence isn't something that is just there. It is
It's
earned on
built.
a day-to-day basis by the fact, like, are you keeping your fucking word? Like, are you keeping your word to yourself? And from that, you can either be very, very confident or you can fall off and you can start to lose confidence. And when those people start to fall off and lose confidence, they have to
If
make the
they
right
ever had
turn.
it.
If they had it, exactly, right? They could go through their whole fucking life having to look for that external. Now, as athletes, we always kind of lived and died on what other people thought of us and what the accolades were. Did we perform well? But on a personal level, that has bled over into me as a young adult that I've really had to fix. It's like, dude, I got to tap into me a little bit more. Fuck what they think. I know what
Mhm.
I'm capable of. I like the Sean French at 6 years old thought he could fly like fucking Superman, right? Now, probably not the best, activity to try, but like, dude, we thought we could conquer the fucking world. It's
Yep.
like, be that kid, be that child. Like, I have big hopes and aspirations for this fucking thing, and I'm not laying off. I am not laying
No.
off. I'm going
No
to
point of
actually.
me as a kid said I'm going to hang out for 50 weeks a year under fluorescent lights doing a job I don't like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
None.
But I know enough about me and the way that I've traveled and got to spend time and do things, and I've slept really fucking great in hammocks, and I've slept really fucking poorly in expensive beds.
Yeah.
And so if that ain't the thing that does it for me, I'm damn sure not selling you my happiness for the idea of an expensive bed.
I love it, man. I
I'll
love it.
happily live in a fucking van and be a nomad.
That'd be good. Be
Yeah,
fun.
it's great fun. We leave
Yeah.
tomorrow for a road trip. We got 3 weeks.
Where y'all going?
We're going to go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I've
No
never done
shit.
anything up there,
Okay.
and it should be kind of cool. A bunch of
That's gonna
lakes,
be
rad stuff
badass,
on
dude.
both Lake Superior, Lake Michigan. I've got a big stupid truck that's kind of overlanding rig, and
Okay.
so roof tent, and me and my
Okay.
chick will disappear off the grid for as much as we can for the
Fucking
next
let's
three
go,
weeks. And
man.
look, the beauty of building the business I have is that I purposely built it to be remote. Like I know I need to fuck off, otherwise
Mhm.
I'll burn it all down. Like I know I'll hit the fucking detonate button on my own shit. I know this.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, so
Yes.
I'm done lying to me that I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
look, asshole, you know that you'll do this.
You're gonna fuck
So,
up. You're gonna hit
so
it.
don't, yeah,
Yeah.
don't build yourself into that trap. Build a machine
Yeah.
that you can leave.
And that's the thing.
Does
I don't
that
think.
cost me probably revenue if I would have focused as much energy on my business? Sure. But being
Mhm.
super fucking rich isn't my goal.
Yeah. Exactly.
I want to
Exactly.
spend my fucking weeks doing what I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the biggest misconception when people that don't know what I'm really trying to pull off understand. I'm not looking to be the fucking richest man on the planet. I'm looking to have more of the F word with my family. And that's fucking freedom. Period.
Mhm.
In the story. I want to be able to fucking disappear from tomorrow to a week from now, and everybody I love is with me. I don't need anybody's fucking permission. To me, that is life. That is what we should all be chasing, not permission from our boss, not, permission to take PTO if we've performed well. That's not what we're here meant to do. Now, again, I'm not slamming W 2 employees because I'm a W 2 employee as well. But what I'm saying is you have to think differently as it comes to terms of how you want to live your life, because one is empowering and the other one is not.
Yep. Yeah, both are the same action. It's the mindset,
Yeah,
right?
man.
And the mindset, like one thing I've got to be able to admit, right, that my mindset on a situation does control my reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
If I think I'm being attacked, most likely I handle it that way and I respond poorly. And if I can act out of abundance and not take things personal and manage my side of the situation, I handle things differently and the progress
Sure.
goes another way.
Yep.
But the
Yep.
reality is my perception of it.
Yeah.
And so the
Yeah.
better I'm in control of my own headspace, my mindset, and my perception, I get to control my reality.
Mm-hmm.
And I can either look at challenges as opportunities to sharpen my fucking axe and prove that I'm capable of handling the next thing the universe wants to throw my way, or I can cower.
Mm-hmm.
And failure is such a fucking lie.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
fear of like, I mean, how many people I know that want to take a move and go all in on their own, and they're scared because of financial or any of this. And so, my questions are, it's like, give it hell with all the extra hours you've got, right? And
Yeah.
don't quit your day job. Like build this in your spare time. But if you can't, don't pretend you really want it.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool too.
Yeah. I mean, for the
But
audience, for the audience's reference, it's fucking Sunday, and here we are,
here
right?
we are.
It's fucking Sunday. I'm recording a show with a badass fucking person. It's like
Yeah, I don't
we
care
do
what
what
day
we
of the
have to
week it
do.
is anymore.
It's a fucking day, man. It's a
It's another
day.
day.
It's a day, but there's no day to just shut down, man. Like if you have a dream and it's something that you want to do, to your point, do it in the hours that you can.
Dude, I had an outside sales job, similar to you, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I've got an outside sales job making somewhere 150 plus a year with a truck and all this other
Mm-hmm.
type of shit. But there's still some part of me that built a business in my spare time.
Yeah.
I thank that lunatic. I
Yeah.
thank
Fuck
that
yeah, you
guy
do.
at whatever age was like, yeah, we'll give this a go.
Yeah.
Instead of putting my feet up and trying to go to fucking Gulf Shores again for another week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how that fucking story plays. I don't want to be on autopilot anymore in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I want some part of my day dedicated to my future.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important, man. I just think that, there's got to be enough individuals out there willing to fucking be self-aware enough to know that. And it's just don't lie to yourselves though. If you don't take the time to do it, don't say you want it, because now you're just talking shit. Like
Right.
that's bullshit. Like fucking be real, right?
And
But
even the other little honesty shit that I catch myself with now, right? Of like, I'm a terrible carpenter and woodworker.
Mhm. You made that axe throwing thing, that was cool.
Sure, fucking screwed some stuff together in a square. But there's part of me that's like, oh, I don't want to do that because I'm a bad carpenter and
Yeah,
woodworker, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then if I look at it and say, but like I'll feel like, well, I'm not a runner. I'm not
mhm,
a woodworker, right? Like it's some type of genetic trait that I should have
yeah,
had figured out by now.
yeah,
When
yeah,
in fact, why the fuck would you be? You've never picked up a hammer.
mhm,
Like maybe use a hammer for 6 months, see what you learn, and decide if you're a woodworker.
mhm. You can't do
And
something
so,
once and just suck at it and say like, "Well, I'm just not that guy."
dude, the rest of my life, I just want to be bad at shit and steal
Mhm.
as many like white belt lessons. And I want all the beginner gains
Yeah,
from as
yeah.
many different things as I possibly can.
Fucking
And then
that's a
I'll
confidence boost.
bail once it gets hard.
Fucking let's go, man. That's fucking whew, that
You
fucking
know,
you know how that fucking line goes.
that's it, right? They just
Yeah.
steal all the beginner gains in as many things. Like imagine if you spent 8 months doing jujitsu
Mhm.
and move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You've separated yourself from the bell curve of fucking people.
Yeah, because you're constantly doing different shit. You're
Yep.
willing to suck at something, and I think that is something that society is so scared to do. They're willing to
So
fucking
scared to do. Man, you're only allowed to suck at stuff for so long. Embrace it.
yeah. Yeah, just fucking go for it. Might as well. I mean, this show fucking sucked. I mean, it sucked. And I'm gonna look back and fast forward 10 years, I'm gonna look back and be like, man, it sucked on that day because it's progress, right? Like
Mhm.
you're allowed to get better. Show everybody everything so everybody can see the journey. That's inspiring, right? That's when people say, like, fuck, I remember listening to Not Dead Yet when it was the first episode. Now we're 300 episodes deep, and look at this motherfucker.
Yep.
You know?
We have a studio. We get to bring people in.
Yeah.
It's continued to grow, but it hasn't continued to grow because the show needs it. It's because I want it.
Mhm.
Because I want to put out the best quality product I can. That's what I'm excited about.
Right.
Like I want to build a space that I'm inspired to work in.
Mhm. Mhm. I
I
feel
built
that.
my own fucking spaceship that I'm inspired to hang out in
Mhm.
and work with. And so now it's been really fun here in St. Louis. We built Dope, my studio. So that's a division of performance enhancement.
That's cool.
Uh, I'm here
That's
for
dope.
anybody who wants to get fucking better, man.
That's really cool.
Anything's on the table.
When I'm out there, I'm gonna come see you though for sure.
Dude, please,
I'm
please, man.
gonna have to fly in a day early or stay a day more.
You're
We
welcome
can
to. I
catch
got
up,
space
man.
here too.
Be fucking dope, man.
Yeah, I got
No
space for
pun
you.
intended.
You can crash with us.
Sick, bro. Sick.
The gym, yeah, like I built out the space. It's all decked out with Sorinex stuff. I've worked with them a long time and built my podcast studio in there. And then now
Nice.
my office is there. So that's where I just spend all day.
Mhm.
And I treat the gym now with it, just being available all day and private in my own, that like it's like a full body fidget spinner.
That's fucking
And so like through the day, like if I run into like a problem and I get frustrated, like go fucking do a thing
go do
and
some
come
fucking
back.
squats. Go do
That's
some
it. That's
fucking
it,
back
right?
extensions. This
It works
motherfucker.
great for me.
Oh, he's stressed again. He's doing fucking arm curls.
And then we randomly just decided, my wife and I decided, like, fuck it, let's open the door. And
Mhm.
so we threw a Halloween party and just put it up on Instagram, free for anyone who wants to come. To my audience and her audience. Hers is
Mhm.
over 200 and mine's 100 plus, and
Yeah.
let's see what happens. And what we realized is like real weirdos and people that talk shit don't show up in person.
No, they don't.
Your people do.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
we had like
exactly.
80 people show up,
Yeah.
man, and it
Yeah,
was
it's some
fucking awesome.
I had some fucking dickhead today. Like on my boys like post. My
Mhm.
buddy Derek Fay. He's here locally. He's doing a lot of great things. He's blowing up. And I support him. I know what he's built here in our community. And I'm always just spewing positivity. And this is some asshole from New York with like a page of like 1,600 people. And it comes to me and goes, stop with the bullshit. I'm like, I'm not
That's
letting
it.
this
That's his whole
fucking
response.
with stop. He goes at the Sean French, stop with the bullshit. Crying face, crying face. I was like, stop supporting my friends. Got it.
Dude,
Like,
you know
you're
what?
fucking it.
We're so conditioned, right, to like see that comment and give it a response. Fuck those people.
I shouldn't have. I
No, I
shouldn't
don't
have.
give him so like any of that, right? Like even the 2 minutes or 30 seconds it takes to response,
Yeah.
that's my energy that I could have put on my thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck those people.
Exactly. Yeah. Good point. Good point.
I
Because I was
have
like,
no
dude, you
interest in
fucking idiot.
anyone who isn't into it.
Yeah.
I'm talking to people with their fucking hands up.
Yep. Yep.
That's it. I only talk to positive comments.
Yeah.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck about these other people. I'll happily block you. Fuck
It's
off.
fucking crazy,
I
man.
don't
It's
need
just
you
like
to support me. I don't give a shit.
it wasn't even my post. I'm like, dude, fuck off,
Right,
man. It's not
right,
even like
right, right.
support my dude here. Like, what the fuck, man? But
I just don't have time for it. I'm just
yeah,
not interested, right? That like I'm in control of the energy I surround myself with, and I'm going to and I'll be fucking hard on that boundary. But
yeah,
that's me to hold.
yeah,
And if you
sure.
come around with complaints and bullshit, we ain't hanging out.
Yeah. I like it. I like it.
You
It's
got to
fucking
go.
toxic, dude. It's toxic, right? It's one of
Control
those
what you
things like
can.
imagine like it's just like that oil and water, right? You just throw it together and it freaks out. Like when you're in a certain energy and you're vibrating on a certain level and someone comes in, talks about how bad life is, you're like, the fuck, you're
What are you
alive.
doing about it?
Like, what are you gonna do about it though? You're fucking alive. Like, I'm not, I spent, an hour and a half at my buddy's son's service yesterday. I mean,
Yeah,
that was fucked up. 18 years old, man. Like,
yeah.
listen, and to your point, not dead yet. Like, I'm still here. Like, and I don't know when that time's gonna expire. So like I just feel like more people need access to energy and more people need access to people like you because like brother, like I absolutely love everything you're about and you're kind, you're a nice guy, you you're shooting to build something.
I'm even glad the nice guy thing kind of goes back historically, right? Like I didn't
It
show up
kind
to
of
fight
does.
you.
I mean, he kind of does. Like, oh, I just like showed up at your doorstep to say hi.
Yeah,
Just
right.
want to let you know,
Not
hey, what's
quite
up?
while I was there, but
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh man. I tell you what, dude, I've told that story so many times in my whole and since then. Since then. Like
so
I
so this is something I'm fascinated, right? Because
yeah.
your perception of that incident is so much different than mine.
I want to hear your perspective.
Yeah, all right. So my story is like I figure out my chick's cheating on me.
Hmm.
I track down a phone number. I think I probably tried to call you, and
I
like
think you did.
and then like of course no one wants to fucking deal with me. I may have got your fucking number, your address from you.
You think
Seriously, I
so?
may have, and I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to fucking pick a fight with you. I just want to talk about
Yeah,
this.
I didn't know you were coming.
Yeah, and so I did, and then went over there. I'm sure I was nervous as fuck because like,
You weren't on the other side of it.
but I'm also showing up alone on a fucking bike.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I know
Hopefully
that
they
this is
gave
the
away a
commons,
car.
dude. There's 4 dudes at least hanging out in this apartment, and most
There's
likely they
about
got
five. There's
weapons.
about 5 to 7.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I'm not coming in there to fucking bring the ruckus, get the shit beat out of me. So I'm aware of all those things too going into it. I'm sure
Yeah.
when I knocked on the door, I bet my heart was fucking pounding like shit.
You seem nervous, man,
I'm
and you're
sure.
yeah, and I was like probably the same amount of nervous, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
so
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 like
you
yeah, it's funny to me that like so you've retold that story. What
yeah.
is your telling of that story?
So like my perception of that story is knock knock, right? Um my buddy, I think it was a friend that answered the door, and he's like, I heard Sean French here, and he's like, yeah, he's right here. So I come up, and you're like, hey, do you know Candace? I'm like, yeah. You go, that's my girlfriend. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I
Sick.
didn't know. I didn't know. You want to come in because we were drinking.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you want
yeah.
to have some beers? Like you want to?
It's Baton Rouge and it was after dark. What else
Yeah,
are
it
we
was
fucking
fucking
doing?
nighttime. I mean, it's not like this motherfucker showed up in the daytime. Okay, he showed up
No.
at night. That's when shit goes down. So I'm like, okay, come in, let's talk about this. Because I was nervous and at the point I was like a little scared. I'm like, this dude's
Fuck,
huge.
man.
Like I'm
Yeah.
like, and I didn't know. Like if I had any indication, it wouldn't have freaked me out so bad. I'd be like, "No, tell that motherfucker I'm not here. Like, what the fuck? But I didn't
Sure.
know. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy looking for me? I don't know this guy. Um, I saw you around, right? Like if we're running and puking on the track and like you're there working, like
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah, yeah.
see you, but like, yeah, man, like so that's my perception of the event. It's like you came in and it was cool. We talked about it. I was overly apologetic, right?
Yeah,
And
I don't remember there being like any friction to our
no,
conversation
zero.
whatsoever,
We had
which
a
is
good
most
time.
likely why it's a relatively I mean, it would be a bigger memory if we ended up fucking having a brawl in your living room with like me and 7 dudes and getting beat
Exactly,
up.
exactly. But it was memorable to me because, like, I remember stupid shit that I've done, right?
Yeah.
And like, and I remember, and I called my boy yesterday. I was like, "Hey, dude, do you remember that night?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" I was like, "Well, I, me and this motherfucker are connected now, and we're gonna hop on a show tomorrow." He goes, "What? Really?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
bro." I'm like, and he's just like, "Well, you know, he's like, to be fair, he's like, that night wasn't a big deal. Like, he came in, we had some drinks, we kicked it, and that was it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Fuck, man." But yeah, dude, that was the audience is like, "God, we're gonna hear this shit again." Like, "Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, you're
Good.
going to. This is my show." Just
Yeah.
fucking
Imagine
A.
anyone having that situation
Yeah,
re-pop up and
like
connect to do like a
re-pop up 20
professional
years
thing
later.
later in life. Like,
Yeah, and saying, "Hey, come stay at my house when you come to St. Louis.
we
I
would
promise
go
I
on this
won't kill you."
podcast and talk to this guy my ex-girlfriend blew. It's fucking great times.
My listeners are like, "Oh my God, Shawn, you did."
So
So
funny,
it's
dude.
like, "Yeah, come stay with me in St. Louis so I can kill you with one of my hatchets." It's like, what
Yeah.
the fuck, you know? But dude,
Jesus,
look, man,
man.
unreal. But listen, man, we gotta land the plane here.
Yep.
Absolutely super psyched. We're adults now and we're connected. We got a friendship now, and we're gonna be seeing a lot of each other. I'm sure I'm gonna be on your show.
And
Um,
dude, just because I'm going to share this as well, where can my audience find all your stuff?
Yeah, so they can find the Determined Society on Apple, Spotify, what's the other ones? iHeartRadio,
Yeah,
Google Cast,
all the
all the
places.
fucking major platforms. And then my Instagram handle, you have that. All that good shit. So,
Yep.
they can come on over and they can have fun conversations with me there. And I'm jacked up, dude. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to many more interactions and much more laughter. And dude, you just enjoy your fucking 3-week vacation. I'll
Oh
try
yeah,
not to
man.
bother you.
I try to have as many once in a lifetime trips a year as possible.
That's fucking awesome, man. Well,
Just
look,
got back
dude.
from 10 days on a motorcycle. We because I did that thing with Indian last year. We did 3 big like 1,000-mile road trips that we filmed,
No
which we
shit.
bit off so much more than we could chew on production.
Fuck.
Dude,
That's
filming 4
crazy.
people on bikes, like with a gimbal behind a van and like 2 cameramen, and like we're doing all of it. We didn't fucking hire anyone. It's me and my 26-year-old cameraman and a buddy of mine from Baton Rouge. We got
Bro,
it done though.
you're gonna teach me how to fucking produce my shit because I
Yeah,
fucking
man.
suck at it. Like the video, the cutting it up. I was just like, dude, need to learn it. Need
Right
to
on.
learn it. So, all right, man. Look, dude, I'll be in touch, and thank you so much for giving the audience so much to think about and learn about, and showing who you are to them. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate the time.
Of course, my brother. Talk soon.